Hey guys, Flo from Off to Lens here. Since I've started this channel, I always put the questions that I receive the most on the side, and one that keeps coming back is how do I sell stock footage? So today's video is going to be about footage licensing and why it is a great way for us filmmakers to make money on the side and to have passive income. I will talk about how I got into it, what kind of footage I sell, how it works, and how much money I make. So don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into it. So if you have been watching this channel for a while now, you probably heard me mention a few times stock footage or footage licensing. For the past 5 years, it has become a pretty important part of my business, and the best thing about it is that it requires little to almost no effort. So even though filmmaking is my passion, I love what I do, I also run this as a business and I want to make money. And if I can make money without having to pretty much do anything, then it's even better. So I'll try my best in this video to give you as much info as I can about footage licensing. So first of all, what is stock footage? Essentially, stock footage is footage that you put up for sale on a platform for brands and company to buy it and use it for their own project. This is a win-win situation for everyone involved. For the filmmaker, you actually make money from footage that you have shot already or that you don't use. For the end client, you actually get the exact clip that you wanted without having to shoot it, and usually at a much lower rate because it doesn't involve production. And for the licensing platform, since they get a cut, they make money as well, so everyone is happy. So during the pandemic, stock footage actually took off even more just because it was a lot harder to go out on shoot and travel. So back in 2016, I saw a lot of filmmakers whose work I was following starting to get involved with this licensing platform called FilmSupply. At that time, I had already been shooting for quite a few years, so I had a lot of footage from recent trips that were just sitting there, and I thought maybe I could make some money from it. So I applied, didn't hear anything for a few weeks, then I sent a follow-up emails, and I actually got a reply this time, and they were just telling me that they were very interested, they just had been so busy with applications. So they wanted to chat, we had an interview, it went really well, and that's how it started. The reason that I got in is because they were interested in my footage from Greenland. I think at the time there weren't that many filmmakers on the platform, so I don't think they had a lot of footage from the Arctic. So I got in and started uploading footage from Greenland, Iceland, and then Japan. So how it works. So basically you can upload anything and everything on the platform. The best way to do it is to create collections and to have enough of the same location and same content to be able to build scenes, or for the client to have enough choice when it comes to angles and movements, etc. In terms of the actual footage, most of the time, pretty much all the time, I send my footage in ProRes 2398, and you can send 4K, 6K, 8K, whatever you want. The footage do need to be graded in a neutral way, but you can also send raw files or log footage if you want. And the ideal length is usually between 5 and 30 seconds. I usually cut the clips, grade them if they need to be graded, create a collection, upload the files, and split the royalties if there is any other filmmaker involved with me. And I just send the files, wait a few weeks for them to be live, and then wait to get paid, hopefully. So of course, the more you upload, the more you have chance to sell footage, but essentially the only work that you have to do, and you only do it once, is cutting and uploading the footage. So all the rest is done by FilmSupply, so they negotiate on your behalf. If I ever get an inquiry about footage licensing, which happens quite a lot, I just have to forward the email and they'll just deal with it. And this is why they take a cut. So over the past few years, my work has been licensed by huge brands and companies such as National Geographic, for example, car brands like Audi, Mazda, Infiniti, and as well as TV shows and TV commercials. As you know, I travel a lot, so every time I go on a trip, I come back with hundreds of clips, and a lot of them are used in the main edit, but the bigger portion is actually just left sitting on a hard drive. So instead of them sitting there, I just pick the best and upload them to FilmSupply. When it's my own project, I usually also include the ones that I've used in the edits because they're usually my favorite ones and the one that represent the collection as a whole. Now, of course, with travel footage, you can pretty much license anything you need, but when it comes to short films or documentaries, you actually need to get the releases from the talent or the people featured in the footage. And some places are not easily licensable. So for example, a busy street with a lot of faces, landmarks, places that you can't drone, for example, so you have to be aware of that and double check. So for me, it's mainly travel and landscape content, as well as footage from my own passion projects and documentaries. The funny thing is, most of the time, the clips that actually do sell a lot are the ones that I think wouldn't sell at all, and the ones that I like from a cinematography point of view are the ones that won't sell. As a tip, upload anything and everything. Again, the more you upload, the more you have a chance to sell. Some of my collections are just drone footage from one area. Some others are more varied. If I come back from a multi-day trip, that could involve car shots, people, landscape, everything in between. And some collections are actually very specific. I've got a collection on bees, for example. At the moment, I have around 30 collections and about 1,000 clips. The pros and cons. So, as with everything else, there are pros and cons to footage licensing. So 1, it allows you to make money on the side. 2, it requires little effort and sometimes no effort at all. Once the footage has been uploaded, it can sell over and over again for years and you don't have to do anything. So it's actually real passive income. 3, it makes every trip or project worth it in a way that you know you can make some part of the money back. So for example, if I go somewhere, I know that I can probably pay or the flights back from that trip just based on the footage that I will license later. And 4, you can have your footage features on massive TV shows or commercials or with big clients that would be a lot harder to get just on your own. And the main cons are 1, you might actually spend time shooting if you're just shooting for licensing, cutting, uploading, for no money at all. There's no way that you can say like 100% that this is gonna sell. And number 2, which is probably the biggest one, is that it's a very unreliable source of income. Unless you are a huge production company and you actually upload thousands of clips every year or even every month, it's very hard to get a solid income, a sustainable income just from footage licensing. So how much do I make? So as I said before, the amounts vary a lot from month to month. I've been doing this for 5 years and on average I make around 10,000 USD per year. For example, in 2021, I made $10,248. My highest month was $1,943, but my lowest month was also $82. So you can see how much it can change from one month to the other. But that being said, it's really nice to be able to make 800 to 900 USD per month just from footage that sits on a website. So my highest month ever, for example, was $2,837. And if you add that on top of a monthly salary or the money that you already make as a filmmaker, it could be enough to buy quite a bit of gear, but also enough to take some time off to work on projects that might not get you paid straight away, or for example, passion projects that don't pay at all. Footage licensing is a great way for us filmmakers to make some real passive income on the side that can help us to focus more on what we actually want to do, whether it's passion projects or to build a portfolio. So since I became a dad as well, it's been really nice to have that kind of income, that extra income per month, just because it allows me to stay home more, to spend more time with my family and work from home. So do keep in mind that even though I make a decent amount of money from footage licensing, I happened to be a filmmaker before I joined. I'd been shooting for a few years and I keep shooting and I keep uploading. You usually need to have a portfolio prior to applying to such platforms. So obviously these days there are plenty of stock footage platforms available for you. It doesn't have to be Film Supply. For example, a lot of my friends are with ArtGrid and are very happy with it. And even if all the platforms might have different ways of doing it, for example, take less of a cut, pay you yearly instead of monthly, essentially it's all pretty much the same thing. You upload clips, you wait, and you get paid. That's it for me for today, guys. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and let me know if you need to know anything else. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.